What's up guys, this is Eddie, welcome to a new video, Munitions DPS, let's go. Alright, so we're gonna look at the AoE loadout and rotation first. Let's get started. We're gonna look at the might because this is a might based loadout. I have 158,062 might right now. And for the gear mods, we are gonna use Blast Adapter 5, Supercharged New Venom Boost 3, Escalating Might 5, Berserker, Penetrating Strikes, Maximum Damage, Tumbling Master. For feet, you can use Explosive Block or Deadly Block or whatever you want, and Restorative Chain Gun for legs. For the augments, I'm using might based augments obviously, so get your head augs to maximum level and get these to maximum level. I think it's gonna be 342 for the next DLC, so make sure you have that maxed out so you can get more of, you know, the stats, might stats. And for the base mods, I'm using might power, so because it's a might based loadout, so you have to use might. So for allies, I'm using Professor Zoom. You can use, you know, the Batman, the future Batman or Death Metal Batman or whatever you want to use for AoE, but Professor Zoom works awesome as well, so no complaints there. Then we have Batman Who Laughs. This is the most important ally for any DPS powers right now. So we're gonna use this and we're gonna click over here for number 1. So while in combat, you will receive a random beneficial card from the Batman Who Laughs deck. So you're gonna get a random card, but the cards we're using this ally for is the Frigger card, which is giving you extra critical chance, and the Batman card, which is gonna give you some 5% might or something like 5% might and precision vitalization. So you need to have Batman Who Laughs. So second support ally is optional, you can use whatever you want. I like to use Batman, sometimes I switch with Aquaman. So with Batman, basically whenever you enter a combat, it increases your might and precision for like first 6 hits. So go with Batman, go with Emperor, it doesn't matter, but Batman Who Laughs is really must to have ally. Now looking at the artifacts, we're gonna use Strategist card, Transformation card, and Quizlet. So for Transformation card, basically it gives you 3% might when it's ranked at 200, and it gives you 20% critical chance and 30% critical magnitude on your attacks. So the more critical attacks you get, the higher your damage will be, so it's very important. Next is Strategist card. Strategist card gives you 4% might if you have ranked it at rank 200, and it basically applies a damage over time for 8 seconds on your target. And also, if you have ranked it at 200, it will double the proc chance of tactical advantage, which is 8 seconds damage over time, and also increase the potency of tactical advantage by 30%. So your damage over time will do 30% more damage. So these two work really well together. So make sure you have these two, ranked up. And then the third one is Quizlet. Quizlet is basically your pet. So mine is at 160, but if you rank it at 200, you will get 4% might. I have 3% might. So basically a pet which will fight by your side, and every time you use a superpower, like any power in your loadout, your Quizlet will do a powerful attack which will hit up to 8 targets. But it has a 5-second internal cooldown, so after every 5 seconds, it's not gonna be like you hit every superpower and it's gonna do powerful Mega Blast. No, you have to wait. Like it will do Mega Blast every 5 seconds. Then there is Refractal Beam. So if you are using a supercharge in your loadout, like for us it's gonna be New Venom Boost. So if you use New Venom Boost and the power cost is 5,000, it will do a medium damage towards primary target and hitting up to 7 additional target. And if your supercharge cost is like 10,000, it will do very high damage, but nobody uses 10,000 supercharge, so forget about that. And then again, if you have it leveled up at 200, every time the Quizlet will do Mega Blast, it will grant the player 1% supercharge back. So make sure you level it up to 200, it's worth it. Now there are other options you can use for instead of Quizlet, and that's gonna be the Lernia's Amulet, because this is a might based loadout, so Lernia's Amulet works really well, but you have to have a really good healer with you in the raids or alert. Use it, but be very careful, it will give you some additional damage. but Quizlet works fine as well. There's not much difference in the damage when you're running Quizlet and Learner's Amulet. The third option you can do is go with Eye of Gemini. So Eye of Gemini, as you all know, if you are in DPS role, whenever you pop a supercharge, it will pop a orange circle beneath you, and whoever is standing in that circle and doing damage, you will get 20% off their damage. But again, for this loadout, we're gonna use Quizlet. This is the easiest way to run, munitions. So now let's go and check out the skill points allocation. For weapons, I'm using rifle because rifle has this, grenade when you tap range, and that's an AoE damage. So we're gonna use that in between our powers. For super speed, flight, acrobat, just get this, but if you have extra skill points, get these innets as well. Don't worry about this, I'm just testing it out. And for iconic powers, we're gonna use robot sidekick, new venom boost. For stat points, we're gonna use superpowered, which will give you 10% might, and it will return your power whenever you use your superpowers. Then we're gonna go for critical attack chance, critical attack magnitude, and then put everything in might and power. Then if you have extra skill points, go with precision, because we're gonna be doing rifle grenade in between our powers, so that's some additional damage right there. Now let's go and look at the loadout. So here's the loadout, and as I said before, it's same as my 2020 video. You can go and check it out. Alright, so number one is Shrapnel Grenade Launcher. It has a 6-second cooldown. It's basically a supercharged generator, and it burns the enemy and does, damage over time. So that's the reason we are using it. Some people like to use Flak Cannon. Flak Cannon is also same. We are gonna use it to apply PI, burn the enemies, does damage over time, but it's almost same damage. The only difference is that Flak Cannon has a 1-second cooldown, so you can pop it again and again, but Shrapnel has 6-second cooldown, so you have to wait, but that wait is basically covered by the supercharge generator. So you are basically building up a supercharge really fast compared to when you're using Flak Cannon, and the damage is almost the same. So go with Shrapnel Grenade Launcher. Number two is Chain Gun. Burning enemies take additional damage, so if your enemies are burning from Shrapnel Grenade, you're gonna be using Chain Gun. It will do additional damage. It's just damage over time, and bam bam bam, that's kind of move. Then we have Railguns. Railgun is same as Chain Gun. It's just do additional damage when the enemies are burning from the PI from Shrapnel Grenade. Then we have Mini Nuke. Awesome power. As you can see, the power cost is 450. The cooldown is 6 seconds, but that's because it does great damage for AoE, and you will see some great numbers with Mini Nuke. Number 5 is Robot Sidekick. It's just your pet, which will fight by your side and do additional damage. Number 6 is New Venom Boost. New Venom Boost will increase your damage output for a short period of time. So you might be wondering, why are we not using Big Gun or Mounted Turret? Now, Big Gun and Mounted Turret are really awesome supercharges, no doubt about that, but the problem is Big Gun is 10,000 supercharge cost and cooldown is 60 seconds, so you have to wait 1 minute to use one big gun. And even if you have EOG healer running with you and you have supercharge building up really fast, but still it will cost you. So I like to use New Venom Boost because I can if the supercharge cost is lower than that, and I don't have to wait for the animation Big Gun has, the long animation. And this is the same reason I don't use Mounted Turret. Mounted Turret has 18-second cooldown, way faster than New Venom Boost, only 5,000 supercharge, but still the animation is too long. So instead of doing Mounted Turret and just standing in one place, I would rather do New Venom Boost and do my loadout and do the same amount of damage which is done by Mounted Turret, actually sometimes more. So New Venom Boost is the way to go. If you're not sure why I use iconic powers, go and check out my video on why do we use iconic powers in our loadouts. So let's go to the sparring target and see the numbers. Alright, so there you have it, 1.9 million, 2 million, 2.1 million, and then 1.7, and then 2.2 million. So the damage is insane, but it comes to range AoE, and munitions is all about range, as you know. So go for it, try this out, and you're gonna love it. Now let's go and check out the single target loadout. single target. So again, we're gonna focus on might, and as you can see, my might has increased a little bit, and that is because I'm using a different artifact. But let's just check the gear mods first. Everything is same as before. I'm using dual wield for this, but you can use anything you want. For single target, it doesn't really matter. You're just gonna use tap range in between your superpowers. So that's about it. So for the artifacts, I'm still using transformation card and strategist card, but instead of Quizlet, we are gonna use Grimorium Verum. So Grimorium is same as Quizlet, kind of, basically. It's also a pet which will fight by your side, but the good thing about Grimorium is that it's a single target pet and it applies power interaction. So as you can see that for munition, it says it burns the enemy. So basically you won't have to apply the power interaction for this loadout, but even if you do, it doesn't matter. It will give you 5% might if you have it ranked up to 200. Right now mine is 180, so it gives me 4% might, but it's a really good, artifact for this. And beside Grimorium, you can obviously always use Lernia's Amulet and EOG, like I said before, and I'm trying my best not to use Solar Amplifier or Heat Vision because people hate it. So this loadout is without Solar Amplifier and Heat Vision. So let's go and check out the skill points allocation. Just like before, 1 point in weapon, we're gonna go for super speed and flight or acrobat, whatever, get this one, and then if you have extra skill points, get these for some extra, powers, innate. Robot Sidekick, Neo Venom Boost, don't get this one, it's just useless. I was just trying it out again, just when testing the loadouts. And under stat points, same as before, we're gonna go with super powered, critical attack, chance, critical attack, damage, and might and power. And then put everything in precision for that extra damage with our tap range weapon attack. So now looking at the loadout. So this is the loadout. First one is gonna be multi-net launcher. Now, when you do multi-net launcher, you will have a combo. So you pop multi-net launcher, it will do a burst damage, and then you press your tap range, it will do a net retractor. So let me show you. So you pop this and tap range, and that's the net retractor. As you can see that it also says whole range for multi-net retractor. So this power can be single target power and it can be also AoE power. So depending on the situation, you can either go with tap range or whole range. So let's say you're fighting a boss and it pops up ads, and there are like a lot of ads right next to the bosses. So instead of whole tap range, you go with whole range. Sorry, my bad. And whole range. So it will do an AoE attack which will hit all the enemies. So burning enemies take additional damage, and that's the power interaction. And since we're using Grimorium Verum, the targets are already gonna be burning. Alright, next up we have Small Package. Small Package is your finisher, so does a great amount of damage. If your target is below 35% health, it will do additional damage, so really handy. Number 3 is Chain Gun, same as before, it's just a gunfire, and burning enemies take additional damage. Number 4 is 50 cal, it's kind of a sniper. I don't know if it's a sniper or not, I'm not into guns and really, but yeah, so it does great damage. If you crit, it can crit up to 200k. Burning enemies take additional damage, so power interaction is already applied by the Grimorium, so it's gonna do really awesome damage. Number 5 is Robot Sidekick. Number 6 is Neo Venom Boost. Now in some situations you can go with Mini Nuke. So what I like to do is I like to replace my Robot Sidekick with mini Nuke instead of just replacing 50 cal with Mini Nuke. So you have both options depending on the situation. Like you're fighting the 3rd or 4th boss in TSW, the Source Wall raid, and there are times when there's only one boss, and there are times when there are a lot of ads. So replacing Robot Sidekick with Mini Nuke actually gives me freedom to use my loadout only on ads. So this power can go AoE, this power can go AoE, and this power can go AoE. So I can just keep on doing these 3 powers and still do a decent amount of damage. But if you want, you can replace this with, you can replace 50 cal with Mini Nuke and just put on your Robot Sidekick. You can do that too, but I like to use 50 cal. It does more damage for single target compared to Mini Nuke. So this is my loadout. Let's go and check it out on Sparring Target. Alright, there you have it. As you can see, for single target is really great. It started with 1 million damage, went down to 79,000 only because we only got 25% crit on that one, and I messed up the loadout a little bit. But yeah, so 1.1 million, and then again 1 million, then 1.1 million, and then 1.2 million. So the damage is there, damage is great. 1.2 million is a great damage for single target for powers like this. And it also depends on if you're buffed or not. I'm not buffed in this, when trying out loadouts and sparring target, but when you're in raid, you're gonna be buffed. You're gonna be using nitro sodas, you're gonna be using compound sodas, you're gonna be getting buffed from other players, like your controller is going to be buffing you. So there are a lot of other things which matters when you are in an actual situation. And also, since we're going to be using the ally, which is going to be the Batman who laughs, so if you trigger the Frigor card or Batman card, your damage is going to increase a lot. So there you have it, the single target loadout, worth it, and try it out. Make sure to check the pinned comment down below in the video, and also make sure you are buffed. The positioning is the key when it comes to munitions. Position yourself right and to hit all the targets. Buff yourself up with nitros, compounds, and whatever, and use everything whenever you can. Use all the henchmen, the trinkets, the allies. Whenever it's out of cooldown, use it when possible. So this is it, and if you have any questions, just comment down in the comment section below and I'll get back to you, and I'll see you guys next time.